Welcome to this Indigenous Identity News Update. I'm your host, Glenn Schoonover. Today we examine the phenomenon of Pretendians, individuals who falsely claim Native American identity for personal, professional, or social gain. The scale is staggering. 2020 census data shows over 1.5 million people self-identifying as Cherokee. Yet only about 480,000 are documented citizens between the three federally recognized tribes. Much of this stems from family lore, such as the Cherokee princess myth, a title that simply does not exist in Cherokee culture. This identity fraud is more than a personal choice. It is a direct threat to tribal sovereignty and the right to determine citizenship. Over 200 unrecognized groups in the U.S. claim to be Cherokee tribes, selling fraudulent IDs and undermining legitimate tribal authority. By treating indigeneity as a racial choice rather than a political status, Pretendians erode the government-to-government relationship with the U.S. Beyond politics, this fraud results in significant economic theft, draining resources meant for Indigenous communities. In one high-profile case, millions in federal contracts were awarded to individuals with no documented Cherokee ancestry who claimed tribal status. In academia, Pretendians occupy professorships and secure grants designed for Native advancement, speaking for communities they aren't part of. The impact on the arts is equally severe. Despite the Indian Arts and Crafts Act, counterfeit work flooded the market. Estimates suggest up to 80% of art sold as native-made is counterfeit, draining an industry valued at over $1 billion. The damage isn't just financial. Pretendianism inflicts lasting cultural trauma on Indigenous people. Fraudsters often fabricate backstories of intergenerational trauma or residential schools to gain social capital and victim status. This commodification leads to the performance of artificial ceremonies and the promotion of harmful red face stereotypes. When these figures are exposed, it creates a deep sense of betrayal among Native youth who viewed them as role models. The Cherokee Nation has responded with a fake tribes task force to expose those falsely claiming tribal status. There is a growing demand for strict identity validation policies in institutions, moving beyond simple self-identification. Tribal leaders have clarified that DNA tests do not establish tribal citizenship, which is based on political and social kinship. Legislative efforts like the Artist Act aim to bolster enforcement against those selling fraudulent Indigenous cultural items. Ultimately, protecting tribal identity is about safeguarding the future and heritage of legitimate tribal citizens. From stolen contracts to the erosion of sovereignty, the harm caused by Pretendians is multifaceted and profound. Despite these challenges, Indigenous communities continue to advocate for the truth and protect their cultural legacy. Institutions must take an active role in verifying claims of indigeneity to ensure resources reach those they were intended for. Supporting authentic Native artists is one way consumers can combat cultural theft in the marketplace. By upholding the spirit of Gadugi, working together for the community, tribal citizens continue to strengthen their nation. Education and vigilance are the best tools in the fight against identity fraud. Together, we can protect the integrity of tribal nations. Thank you for joining me for this report on identity fraud and cultural theft. I'm your host, Glenn Schoonover, signing off.